Hey guys, Justin here, back with another video. But wait, this isn't Arca, this is C-Fixed. Well, I decided to try a new series here, and if it gets enough support, I think I'll continue to do it from now on. If this video gets 50 likes, I'll continue to keep doing these C-Fixed videos. And make sure to subscribe for more NASCAR guide content. This track is super difficult because of some weird shifting lines, so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to talk about how shifting can make you go faster. But anyways, let's get right into the lap.
But right when I decided to go back into the gas, that's when I downshift, and it just picked me up 2 tenths. Anytime I shift, downshift, and then I get on the gas, it snaps around on me. Put an egg underneath that accelerator. Don't jump into it all the way.
Alright, let's take a look at that. So for our outlap, we're going to be doing an interesting line to get the most momentum possible. I tried doing this in 4th gear with the arc and it just didn't carry quite as much speed. So we're going to be going into turn 3 on your outlap in 3rd gear. And then what you're going to be aiming for is similar to Arca if you watched that video a couple weeks ago. But when this 5-hour energy ends and before the other one begins is when you want to turn your car off the wall and down the track. And this will make as straight of a line as possible. And you can shift anytime you get close to the 8,000 rev limit on your car. All right, so you see here I kind of turn off the wall in between the two 5-hour energy banners. I'm full throttle just about, and then I shift it just before 8,000. This maximizes the 3rd gear, make it as long as possible, and then we carry a lot of speed into the lap. So now we're gonna go into turn 1 here. So this is going to be a lesson more than anything about how to shift, because when you say to people try shifting, it's kind of hard to deduce what exactly to do, because most of the time when you shift it just makes you go slower. So we need to think about a couple things. How are we going to shift in a way that makes our car loose and turn but not slow the car down? So in this particular situation, as opposed to the Arca car, we're actually going to be doing a pretty short shift into the corner. So what we're doing is we're aiming for the seam right here. I want my lefts to be on the seam between the 1st and 2nd groove. And while we're doing that, you see I'm braking. So we start at a stab of about 50 to 60%, and we back it down to a drag of about 20 to 30%. Then once we enter the corner, this is the point where I shift. Exactly this point when I get down to the seam here, and I need the rotation from the short shift. So as you see here, our angle doesn't really check out. It kind of seems like we're going to be going into the wall. So what we need to do is we need to use the rotation from the short shift to kind of jolt the car. And now that we're in 3rd gear, we add a little more wheel into it in the hopes of getting the car on the right rear. And now we can just wrap around the seam in this 3rd gear. And it really plays nicely with that seam. I'm holding it about 75% throttle. Full throttle, you would most likely spin out here in 3rd gear. So this is a good place to hold it, and you're still carrying a lot of momentum. So carrying a lot of momentum. And now the last important part is we don't want to early shift. If we early shift, then we lose a lot of the usage that 3rd gear is. So we want to go as long as possible into 3rd gear. So really, when I'm turning off the corner, I'm not looking ahead. I am actually looking at my tack, because I really want to shift right before 8,000. So you see, not yet. Okay, it was getting a little close to 8,000, so that's when I brought it. Okay, so let's look at 1 and 2 one more time without me pausing it. So we hard brake into a drag, bring it down to the seam. Once we hit the seam, we shift. And then we hold it, beginning at 50% throttle, but putting it up to about 3/4. And then once we are able to straighten the wheel, full throttle, we wait all the way until 8,000 RPMs, and then we shift. All right. And now we're going to head into 3 and 4. And then we're going to even earlier shift in 3 and 4 here. So a lot of what shifting does is we're able to carry momentum in places that you wouldn't be able to because of how the car behaves in 4th gear. So we get the car loose in 3rd gear, which means instead of arcing it into the corner or running the middle, we actually can just run it right into the bottom. And we'll do a tiny diamond here, but really as little a diamond as possible. So you see, I am shifting about right as we get to the curb. That seems about a good point. So now let's go over the mechanics of shifting because it seems like I missed that real quick in 1 and 2. So if you're using auto blip, this isn't going to work. It's just it's too slow of a shift. You really won't be able to utilize the shifts in a way that will make you faster. So if you're on regular anti-stall shifting, what we do is we go from our brake and we add just a little bit of throttle, and then we click our paddle, or if you're shifting, that's when you shift up. So really you don't even need as much throttle as I put in. You could just blip the throttle, but I felt the need to get it to about 1/3. And you see the shift happen just fine with the throttle at the 1/3, and it was in and out. I just literally pressed it like a button. And so I press the throttle like a button, and while I'm doing that, in between that motion is when I click the paddle because I'm using a G29. So I click the paddle and that gets me into 3rd. It upsets the car slightly, but now that you're in 3rd, you have a lot better control over your car in terms of radius of turn. So now that I throttle up, I'm actually turning back down to the curb instead of washing up towards the wall. And because of that, I'm able to get a really nice exit. So that little diamond that I did allowed me to go all the way past the curb and then up to the wall. And instead of being all the way by the wall, if I was in 4th gear, I would be feathering it and sliding up and feathering it and sliding up. I'm able to be aggressive in 3rd gear and even almost cut the exit a little bit. And that's what we're looking for. And again, we really want a long shift. So you see it was almost touching 8, and then I shifted. So you can use that by hearing or by visual. I kind of use a mixture of both. And 3 and 4, and since you're not going the full straightaway, I tend to just listen to it and try to worry about turning off. But with 1 and 2, because the run is so important, I really like just looking down at my dash and making sure I'm getting as close to 8,000 as possible. Eke out a couple more hundredths there. But besides that, if you have any questions about shifting and how and why this is going to make you faster, feel free to leave a comment. And please like the video if you want to see me do track guides for truck series in the future. I thought this week it would be quick, and a lot of people seem to be confused about what to do. So this is why this is out there. But if you want to see this continued, please like the video. If we hit 50 likes, we're going to be continuing to do truck series every Tuesday. I think it's pretty manageable, but it's up to you guys. So let me know if you like this, and I hope to see you all on the track.